Hi everybody, welcome to Unit 6, Lesson 4, the distributive property and algebraic expressions. Okay, so as a reminder, the distributive property, that tells us that if there is a number, or in this case a variable, being multiplied by a set of parentheses, you have to distribute it or give it to everything inside of the parentheses. Okay, and they refer to this as the distributive property of multiplication over division. Okay, so in this case we're distributing the A into the B and the C, giving us A times B plus A times C. We can also go the opposite way. We can notice, oh, both of these have a common factor, in this case A, and it can be pulled out and then put outside of the parentheses as well. And that's the distributive property of addition over multiplication. So I have 3 examples for you. This one's going to move really quick, okay? So I tried to pull some with like funky things in it. Like this one, we had a coefficient in here, so I chose that one. This one had a fraction, so I was trying to show some of the more complicated versions of this. But obviously in your lesson, there's a lot of examples as well. So with this one, I have a 4 times 3z minus 7. So the 4 needs to be distributed into everything inside the parentheses. So in this case, we would say, right, this is 3z. That's one term, okay? So we can say 4 times 3z minus 4 times 7. Well, 4 times 3z is 12z, right? If I have 4 groups of 3z's, I have 12z's, minus, and then 4 times 7 is 28. That is as close as I can get it without knowing what z is equal to, all right? That's as simplified as I can get it. Now, the opposite is true as well if we needed to. I think it goes into your next lesson, all right? But just so you know, you could also recognize, oh, those numbers can both be divided by 4 and pull that 4 out as well. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, number 2, 7/10 is being multiplied by 5d plus 6. So again, I'm going to distribute it into each term inside of my parentheses. All right, this is one term, 5d. Okay, so that means I have 7/10 times 5d. I'm going to put it over 1, right? Because anything over 1, right, or any whole number, you can write it as a fraction by putting it over 1. Plus, and then I have 7/10 times 6 over 1. Okay? Now the reason I do that is to make sure that, 1, can I factor anything out? Or 2, making sure that I'm multiplying the right numbers together, right? Because I could do 7 times 5. But I also noticed that there's a number that I can pull out of there, right? I noticed that I can pull a 5 out. 5 can be divided by 5. It's really easy. Zoom in. Okay, there we go. So 5 can be divided by 5. 10 can also be divided by 5. And because one of them is in my numerator and one is in my denominator, I can do this. So I can replace the 10 divided by 5 with a 2. 5 divided by 5 can be replaced with a 1. Now I can also do that over here. And it's only with the multiplying, right? It's not with the addition that I can do this. But I notice that 6 can be divided by 2, 10 can be divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Whew, it's a lot of work, right? So with that, now I can rewrite the whole thing. Now I have, let's see, I have 7 over 2 times 1 over 1d plus 7 over 5 times 3 over 1. Well, let's see. 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. Still being multiplied by the d. And then we've got 7 times 3 is 21. 5 times 1 is 5, okay? So sometimes it's helpful for us to leave it like this. Other times, excuse me, depending on what you're doing with the numbers, you could convert these to mixed numbers as well, but in your practice, it does leave it like this. And a lot of times in algebra, you just end up leaving your fractions as improper fractions rather than converting them to mixed numbers. So just pay attention to the answers, okay, when you're going through them. All right, this next one, like I told you, I chose some that just have like funky numbers in them. This one is number 2 from your quick check. I chose it because there's negatives, all right? So this -5 is being distributed into everything inside of the parentheses. So that means I have -5 times -3, and then -5 times -11. All right, this one's like a little more complicated, but know that we have a negative times a negative. So we have a negative times a negative, and then a negative times another negative. Okay, oh, I forgot my G. Did you notice that? Okay, got to remember that. So -5 times -3 is positive 15. -5 times -11 is positive 55. And then this G is still there on the end because it was attached to the 11 up top. This is one term. Okay, so your final answer, basically it's like a negative being multiplied by a bunch of negatives is going to give you a bunch of positives. Okay, so hang in there. Let me know if you need any extra support. I am always happy to help.